Oh, hello there. Good morning. No. You're not disturbing. I'm just tending to some of the plants in the garden. I don't believe I've seen you before. You're not from around here, are you? Well, it's very nice to meet you at least. My name is Idun. That's right. I'm the goddess of youth and the keeper of the golden apples. May I ask for your name? Such a lovely name. It's quite unique in my opinion. Tell me, are you among the rangers that travels between the realms, delivering messages? How could I tell? Well, that badge you wear makes it pretty obvious, but I wanted to ask just to be sure. So, what brings you to Asgard? More or less to the garden? I don't assume that you're here to look at the flowers. Oh, you thought you would find it. My apologies. As long as I've known Thor, I have never seen him entering any of the gardens here in the palace, and I spent quite some time here. That's true. He can be unpredictable sometimes, but he haven't proven otherwise yet regarding my statement. Unfortunately, no, I have not. I haven't seen him all morning. Considering what went down last night, I would think he's still in his quarters. Oh, right, you weren't there. Well, to keep it brief, Thor and some of the other gods came back to the palace after a successful mission. And let's just say that he got 1 or 2 drinks too many and ended up in a small yet heated argument with Tyr. And you know, Tyr, being the god of war, there could only be one outcome. It's true. It became quite intense at some point. So much so that Loki and my husband Bragi had to intervene and separate them before it became out of control. Oh, no. This happens all the time. I don't think this will affect their relationship in any way. I can't count on 2 hands how many times I've seen them and the other gods fight when they get too much to drink. I have to say though, I find it quite amusing. Why? Well, no matter how many times they beat each other up, they will always protect each other on the battlefield. At least from what I've been told. You could call them brothers at arms, fighting whatever foe that may challenge their strength. Look at me, I'm babbling again. I appreciate that you don't mind, but I'm probably keeping you from doing what you're supposed to do. Well, yes, I can only assume that you have something to tell or a task related to Thor since you're looking for him. May I ask why you want to speak with him? Oh, you bring news from Alfheim? Well, as far as I know, I don't think he ever left his quarters yet.
And he will remain there until Odin says otherwise.
Oh, Loki? I didn't realize that you were here too.
Well, that's simply because I didn't want to interrupt your conversation, but I thought I had to intervene regarding that.
Like you and Bragi did last night.
Don't mention it. My head still hurts after Thor punched me when we grappled him.
That's unfortunate, but I have to say I was quite impressed by how he managed to do that.
Well, I'm glad my misery can be your entertainment. You enjoyed the show with Freya at the table, weren't you?
Can you blame me? He can almost compare with the brawls that Thor and the other gods have started outside of the palace.
I guess not, although, if I can recall it right, one of those started because we protected you, wasn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course you don't. But enough about that. You mentioned something about bringing a message to Thor, Ranger. Ah, well. Unfortunately, no one is allowed to speak with Thor nor Tyr until Odin says so.
I assume that he wasn't pleased by what happened last night.
You can say so. While you found the argument amusing, Odin did not. And so he decided that none of them were allowed to leave their quarters.
Aren't the two of them too old to be put under house arrest? I mean, this isn't the first time this has happened. What's different this time?
I can assume he has had enough of their bickering, but it's hard to tell, honestly.
I guess you're right. Speaking of last night, Loki, why did you arrive to the palace later than the others? Weren't you accompanying them?
We got separated for a while, and I encountered some creatures on the way. I had to deal with them first.
Oh no. I really hope that you didn't get hurt. What kind of creature was it?
Oh, it was nothing that I couldn't handle. Don't worry about that, dear. Anyway, what news do you bring from Alfheim, Ranger? I can bring the news to Thor when he's allowed to leave his quarters. I can only assume that the news come from the palace. Yes?
Oh, Frey has observed strange activities in Alfheim? And it's urgent?
I see. Well, considering that this comes from him, I'd say that this is something we have to investigate.
I agree. He have never been deceptive before, so I see no reason for not trusting him when he says that something is going on in Alfheim. But I can only assume that he will give more details to Thor when he arrives. Oh, he will? Well then, I believe that we should tell Odin about this. If it's urgent and if Freyr is in need of assistance, we should provide it to him.
I guess you're right. You should go and meet up with Odin, Ranger. Last I saw him, he was in the throne room. Well, yes, you're the bringer of the news. So the right thing is to let you approach him about this. If Odin knows that it's urgent, he might let the two of them off the hook this time.
I agree. I should get back to tending to the plants, so...
But before you do that, I forgot to tell you something last night, Idun.
Oh? What is it?
Well, on the way back to the palace, I noticed a magnificent tree, which had some of the fairest and sweetest apples I've ever seen and tasted. I would say they could almost compare with yours.
That's not possible. There are no apples like mine.
I never said they were. I said they could almost compare. If you wish, dear goddess, I can show you where I found the apples. It's right outside of Asgard. I'll gladly accompany you so you get the chance to prove me wrong.
Very well. You've triggered my curiosity. So I'm more than willing to examine these apples you speak so fondly of.
Excellent. Let's make haste before it gets dark.
Very well. It was nice meeting you, Ranger. I hope to see you again soon. I wish you a safe travel in the future. You're most welcome. Take care.
Believe me, my dear goddess, when I say this. It's something you've never seen before. This way, quickly.